He was a force in local television in both news and sports for decades. Steve Savard was also the voice of the Rams. We did radio this week together at KTRS, and now we will do television. Steve Savard is tonight's Spotlight interview. So you've done so many things in this business, but I have a feeling that the thing you felt most alive, the thing you enjoyed most, was being in the Rams broadcast booth?
That's one of two. It's a tie for first. Yes, no question. Got me back involved. Can't replace the energy and the vibe you get, but equally satisfying, my last few years at KMOV, my franchise, spotlight on those who served, calling attention and telling the stories of combat veterans, and particularly World War II veterans, the greatest generation, for which I have great affinity.
You've done everything you possibly can in broadcasting.
I don't know about that.
But you're still relatively young. Does your thirst have to be quenched again? Do you need to finish off a career?
Don't need to, no. If something's there, and anything I do now at this point is something I really want to do with people I want to do it with. Don't have to, and that makes me blessed.
You're a completely content person, but is there any edge or any lingering anger at KMOV?
I never had any anger. It took a 100-year pandemic to force a decades-old company out of business. They had a nationwide going out of business fire sale that I was part of. What I never talked much about was the fact that the station was trying to re-sign me during that whole process. As early as March, with 9 months to go in my contract in 2020, the general manager and the news director at the time were trying to offer me a contract. In fact, I was supposed to have one 7 months before my contract ran out. COVID hit, the general manager decides, Mike Murphy, who treated me great, he decides he's had enough. He doesn't want to be a GM at 64 through COVID. And the offer never came because the company decided we're going to get out of business and sell all 19 TV stations. So I never had any animosity toward KMOV. I understood exactly what happened. It was an extraordinary set of circumstances. It happens. I felt worse for people that weren't in my position to have accumulated enough to fall back on to not worry about that.
When TV news is done right, what does it look like?
It advocates for those who need a platform. It informs people, and it allows people to make their own judgments, make up their own minds about the stories they've just heard.
Give me an idea of the moment you found out for sure that the Rams were leaving, where you were and how you felt.
Early December 2015, reading the publicized relocation application submitted by the Rams. I thought it was a work of great fiction. And I'm not a fiction guy, I'm a history guy. It hit home then in the final weeks of my job as the play-by-play guy in 2015 that the Rams were likely headed out of town. And it caused a lot of conflict. I actually thought about quitting when I read what was in that, but I had a job to do, and I finished the job.
When I say Stan Kroenke, you think what?
What a wasted opportunity here in St. Louis to have a legacy and to continue it and to rob a fan base of a franchise that should never have left.
Have you seen either Stan Kroenke or Kevin Demoff since?
No.
No correspondence?
No.
And then this town as a football town, how would you describe it?
As a football town? Here's how I describe it. 11 straight years with no playoff appearance. 11 straight years, no record better than 8-8. A 5-year stretch of 15-65. A 3-year stretch of home record of 2-22, losing those 22 games by an average of 21 points, and they sold out 90% of that time. They didn't stop selling out until 2014 or 2015 when it became obvious that the team may lose. That's what kind of football town St. Louis is.
Final thought. You paid your dues in Montana, Hartford, and El Paso. What did it mean to you to come back home, particularly from the parents' proud perspective?
The number one fringe benefit of my career was my parents' ability to turn on the TV, like your family's ability and others, and watch their kid on the news every night, and on Sundays and occasional Mondays and Thursdays, listen to their kid call football games. I didn't try to target St. Louis. It just kind of fell in my lap, but the ancillary benefit was what it did for my parents.